Namaskar, Jai Shri Ram. Let us start the second part of this video. So, like we discussed in this part, we will be trying to explain justifications for seemingly controversial decisions taken by Ramchandra ji as well as other characters, and also try to explain various symbolisms used in the Ramayana. So, so we have established that the time period of Ramayana being so far away, it was necessary for the oral tradition, which happened through centuries, to make this narrative interesting. So very many stories which became myths and legends have been added. Unfortunately, the real message behind the stories seem to have lost, and we are trying to unnecessarily figure out the logic behind that myth, forgetting the purpose of that story. So we will try to bring forth that as well. So let us begin. The two most discussed episodes in the Ramayana in which the decisions of Lord Ram are questioned is one in which Ram killed Wali hiding behind a tree, and during a duel with Sugriv. So the justification of that is that we have to understand that Wali had usurped Sugriv's throne unjustly, exiled him, and also forcefully taken on his wife. So, by these behaviors, he had crossed all limits of dharma, and his behavior was more like an animal rather than a human being. So, all Ram was trying to prove that if you have to kill someone who is an animal tendencies person, you have to do that in any way which to restore, dharma. When a dying Wali agrees, in front of Ram about his mistakes and asks his forgiveness, this is further justification that Wali also agreed that the way Ramchandra ji killed him was justified. Again, another justification people seek is Sugriv was being installed after Wali's death. So Ramchandra ji was trying to build up an army to able to wage war on the Lanka kingdom of Ravana. So as a strategist, Ram needed Sugriv's help, and he needed his army to be involved in this battle. So this was a strategic alliance between Ram and Sugriv, and he had promised to Sugriv that he would punish Wali and restore the throne to Sugriv. So he rightfully restored the dharma and the leadership back to Sugriv. So Ram did not act in any way which as a detached facilitator. He acted as a detached facilitator, not as a ruler. So he had no interest on taking over Sugriv's kingdom, but to reinstate him so that the reign of Dharma could continue. There is another, major controversy which we need to explain. There was a Shudra by the name of Shambhuka who was found to do very restricted penances and austerities hidden in a forest. These were not as per the prescribed Vedic rites, and it was more like a black magic, and more so during the Varna system, not the caste system, but the Varna system, which was prevalent at that time. The duties of a Shudra were not allowing him to do this kind of a penance, and by his penance, which was more a black magic, he had caused, of course, unwillingly, but caused the death of a Brahmin child. So these kind of tantric forces which are causing disbalance of the cosmic forces had to be fought, and Ram had to kill Shambhuka and restore the cosmic imbalance. So there was no casteist feeling that we are unnecessarily attributing Ram to, but he again did this to restore cosmic balance and so that dharma can prevail. So this is another justification. Let us understand some symbolisms also. See, why did Ravana had to offer to Shiva multiple times his head? So we need to know that Ravana was an asur. So by his nature, his guna was tamsic, is full of ego, desire, gratification of senses. But in spite of being a tamsic, Ravana was not ignorant. He was a very learned scholar. He knew the Vedas. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he realized his shortcomings, and he knew that he is conditioned by his gunas, and his weaknesses are because of that. But still, he wanted moksha, from the Lord. So. Although inner nature being tamasic, conditioned by his gunas, by his abhyas, by his improvement, which is self, right, he had become knowledgeable, big devotee of Shiva, and he knows that arrogance, ego, lust of his swabha need to be destroyed, and each of his head symbolized that, and he was wanting to give this as a gift to Lord Shiva, but because of his basic nature was not being changed, he was still arrogant, lustful, so Shiva refused his offer and reinstated his heads, and that is why in the end, when Ravan was waging war against Ram, he understood that it is Ram who can give him that deliverance that he was seeking, and that was on the 10th day in which all his desires, all his vasana were one by one eliminated. So he was ready for moksha at the head of Ramchandra ji. Now, even the 10 heads of Ravan, this most of us know. So, the 10 heads symbolize the 5 senses and the 5 organs, and this is basically reflecting Ravan's excessive indulgence in sensory pleasures and his inability to control his desires. So, his 10 heads are symbolizing multiple layers of desire and chaotic nature of unchecked ambition. Another interpretation is that it represents the 6 Shastra and 4 Vedas, which all of them Ravan had mastered. So they are basically trying to give us a symbolic message that nature of desire, complexities of ego, dualities of intellect and morality, all this will have consequences, and excessive indulgence will lead to a downfall, and all this in symbolism way reflect the idea that greatness in abilities of knowledge must be balanced with righteousness and ethical conduct, otherwise they can lead to one's downfall. So his character is a tale of caution, how a person with such a high potential can be overshadowed by ego and desire, and ultimately it will become his doom. One thing little known, I think, is at least I didn't know it before I did this research. The word Dashrath, the father of Lord Ramchandra ji, the word itself, Dashrath, so Dashrath in Hindi means 10 chariots. So this word also is symbolizing the 5 basic elements: earth, fire, air, water, space. And the 5 we have senses: sight, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and these 10 together make every human. So every human is a chariot of 10. These are the 10 chariots that every human has. And for getting control of these 10 chariots, every human needs intellect, which is Ram symbolizes that intellect. Human needs renunciation, which is symbolized by Lakshman. Every human needs devotion, which is symbolized by Bharat, and bravery symbolized by Shatrughan. And for want of this, we become slave of our senses. If all of these are intact, so we will remain focused on our journey. And of course, Dashrath had three queens. They also are symbolizing. Kaushalya represents expertise. Kaikai represents karma, because she represents power, and Sumitra represents devotion. So, in the context, the full three queens, the four sons, and the 10 chariots are giving us a symbolic message that King Dashrath, like the way he kept all his three queens in harmony. So every human should strike a balance between need for perfection, action, and devotion. So this is a very a deep symbolic message which was there. There are many stories over time, just to make the story interesting, just as if we see the present day the movies also for making them interesting. There is a lot of dramatic element which is included, but we have to understand that in order that over centuries, by oral tradition, these same stories are able to continue, and even after so many lakhs of years, we are still recounting it in various forms, more or less in the correct context. But there are some stories which we need not try to find logical answers to, and better to understand the message behind it. So Hanuman's leap over the ocean, it is symbolizing the unleashing of the dormant potential through faith and surrender, and crossing the inner limitations. तो ये मैसेज दे रहा है, ना कि एक छलांग मारी और हम उसको देखना चाहें भी इतनी लंबी छलांग कौन मार सकता है. तो let us not dilute the message by trying to just see the packaging of it without understanding the inner content. Similarly, Hanuman carrying Sanjeevani mountain, again specifies when particular specifics fail, you have to bring the whole truth. The urgency demands holistic wisdom over precision. So sometimes you need to have the complete picture to take proper action. Shabri ke Bear again is a story. We all know of that. So, but the main symbolism is on pure devotion, transcending ritual purity, the love offered with innocence being greater than formality. Kevat, carrying Ram in his boat, again symbolizes crossing of the Bhavsagar. The Sansara requires humility and surrender, and divine grace flows through service. The golden deer, which is there, which Sita ji told Ramchandra ji to get for her, is symbolizing illusion, Maya, which distracts and leads to suffering. Desire masks the danger. Ram Setu was done by floating stones, although there are some scientific explanations into this. So I am not wanting to go into that, whether it was a coral, stones that were able to float. So the main message is that the power of divine name, जो नाम का नाम है, that power and the collective faith of so many people, devotion, it defies material laws. So this is the message that it conveys. Of course, Pushpak Viman is a symbol of elevated consciousness, divine transport, symbolizing transcendence beyond worldly bounds. Kumkaran slumber, again, great strength is useless without awakening. Squirrel, we all know that रामचंद्र जी ने ऊपर हाथ फेरा और वो stripes में convert हो गया, which is still there. So it symbolizes a very deep message that every small effort, छोटा से छोटा effort, चाहे वो squirrel का हो, चाहे वो वानर सेना का हो, जो humility और devotion से किया हो, वो धर्म के रास्ते में लाभदायक होता है. This is 10 heads of Ravana, we already explained. Nectar in Ravana we will explain in more detail in the coming slides. Ahilya's redemption is again symbolizing awakening from spiritual dormancy. So divine touch, जब आपका spiritual connect होगा तो you have a transformation. एंड लक्ष्मण ये भी आता है कि 14 ईयर्स तक लक्ष्मण जी सोए नहीं थे, तो विजिलेंस इन सर्विस ऑफ धर्मा, सेल्फलेस डेडिकेशन ये दिखाता है। अब वो एक्चुअली सोए हैं कि जागे हैं, अगर इस डिबेट में आएंगे तो वो कुछ अननेसेसरी है। वो किसी भी स्टोरी को जो सेंचुरी सेंचुरी चली आ रही है उसको कॉमन पर्सन तक पहुंचाने के लिए there has to be some element of myth, legend, folklore which has been added over time, and the it is the packaging of the message. The main content should not be forgotten. अब अगर हम रामचंद्र जी का हमने देखा कि वी आर एबल टू डिफाइन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम बाय comparing it with the characteristics of Ravana. Ab let's do a bit of a analysis of Ravana. So he is known to us as a scholar without surrender, a devotee without humility. Both of this we have seen in the Ramayana, and a king without compassion. ये तीनों strength भी हैं और weakness भी हैं जिसकी वजह से का पतन हुआ. In terms of the good aspects of Ravana, master of Vedas, Shastras, devotee of Shiva, a skilled veena player like no other. He is brave and strategic. He made Lanka into such a architectural marvel. So all of that is strengths that he has. But all of this is worn off by his weaknesses, which is basically ego, desires, arrogance, disregard for dharma, and refusal. Itne jan, in his kingdom only, we're trying to influence him to not do not take the path that he was taking in confrontation with Ramchandra ji, but he refused to listen. So all that is, in short, in spite of all this, strengths, the weaknesses were so strong and so basic that it caused his downfall. Now, a dying Ravana gave invaluable lessons to Lakshman. Now, arrogance and pride, it was his main crux of that message. Ahankar can ruin even the most powerful. So what if he is powerful, has satta, has shakti, is a Shiv Bhakt, and he is has a lot of wealth, but all of this arrogance can be of satta, can be of saundarya, can be of shakti or bhakti, dhan or dharam, but any arrogance, and he had arrogance of all of this. You can imagine the kind of person that he was. So this will be a cause of downfall. So this is the first and the most important lesson which Ravana, while dying, gave to Lakshman. So arrogance of sampatti or satta, still will have remedy, but arrogance of gyan and dharam are without any cure. So ये भी प्रॉब्लम था रावण के साथ कि उसको संपत्ति और सत्ता का तो था ही, बट ज्ञान और धर्म which are without cure, ये भी अहंकार था. So because of all this, Trilok Vijeta, which he was, ruler of the three worlds, Vidya Vicharak, wise and intelligent, Maha Pandit, knowing the Vedas, but all of this he lost by his arrogance. So this was the main lesson which a dying Ravana gave to Lakshman. Apart from this, the other message that he gave was that he advised Lakshman that in life, as it is important to choose the friends around you, the selection of friends is of course important, but the selection of your enemies is as much, if not even more important. So why the enemy is important? Because it is The enemies that stretch your capabilities can bring out hitherto unknown strengths that lay dormant within us. So, in Ravana's word, Shatru नमस्कार के पात्र है, तिरस्कार का नहीं है. So this is his advice to Lakshman, very very valid. The other thing which he said was very very emotional. He will said that people will remember that Ravan was defeated because he had a brother like Vibhishan. He did not have a brother like Lakshman, which Ram had. But people will forget that to have a brother like Lakshman, you have to be a person like Ram. So, very very strong message he has given to all of us, that if we want to have the good fortune of having a brother like Lakshman, we ourselves need to be Ram first. So, very very valid. So, we will conclude this with the hope and prayer that our lives become Rammay. Now, Rammay is again a very deeply spiritual and a poetic concept that signifies a state of being completely immersed in the essence, presence, and consciousness of Lord Ram. It is not just devotion; it is transformation. So, having heard the 3-4 videos that we have done and understanding Ram, let us pray, let us put all our efforts to make our lives Rammay. So, विचारों में राममय, हर सोच में, धर्म में, करुणा में, सत्य के प्रेरित होना, ये उसका, और उसका उदाहरण निर्णय लेते समय राम क्या करते ये सोचना. भावों में अगर हमें राम को लाना है तो प्रेम, क्षमा, त्याग की भावना लानी पड़ेगी. और क्रोध अगर भी आए, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल ह्यूमंस, हमें क्रोध आएगा, एंगर आएगी, तो क्रोध में भी करुणा हो, विरोध में भी मर्यादा हो. वी शुड नॉट लीव दी मर्यादा पार्ट ऑफ इट. कर्मों में अगर हमें राम को उतारना है, जीवन को राममय बनाना है, तो हर कार्य धर्म अनुसार हो, समाज हित के लिए हो. उदाहरण के लिए सेवा, सत्यनिष्ठा, न्यायपूर्ण आचरण हमें एग्जिबिट करना है. और चेतना में राम, अहंकार का विसर्जन करना है. और आत्मा में राम को, लाइक वी सेड, फाइंडिंग गॉड विद इन, दैट इज व्हाट राममय, बीइंग राममय विल बिकम. सो ध्यान में राम का नाम, हर सांस में राम. सो Ram is in us and we are in Ram. So, like we said in other videos, finding God in everything and everything in God, that is one. So, this will make our life become Rammay. So, I hope by this we have some better understanding of Ram, and we are able to do this journey to make our lives Rammay. Jai Shri Ram. God bless us.
राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम, राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम.